DBL Nation.
Good morning, you guys. It's what? Thursday.
Oh my God, I was going to say Wednesday. I'm so glad it's Thursday.
Started off well, guys. Throwback Thursday. Happy Thursday. Let's all take a moment. Kelly and I have an intention of being more present in 2019. So let's just take a moment and I'll breathe together. Good morning.
I'm Kelly Schubert.
I'm Tori Schulman.
And this is The Break Room. We like to hang out every day at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time, and we like to talk about the top trending stories of the day.
Yeah, you're good. And we have frothy
without
lipstick on our teeth, and we have frothy coffee. We hope you'll join us, and please comment in on Facebook, YouTube. We want you guys to be part of the show. We got so many comments yesterday, so many at Fifth Host,
yes, so
that we are killing it. It's a record. We also got a lot on Monday.
Yep.
So keep writing us in because you guys are doing very well. We're not paying you, but round of applause.
You're our fifth host, after all. So the top story today is, of course, President Trump. Government shutdown is now on day 20.
Day 20. We should have a little,
we should, like a little counting
20.
clock. Yeah. Or it goes like to the calendar rips off and it goes to the next one, you know?
Yeah. An advent calendar.
He's heading to the border today. McAllen, Texas is where he'll be going.
Say it again.
McAllen, Texas.
Got it.
He should be hopping on the plane any minute. He did just speak with reporters. And say that if this deal with Congress if it doesn't happen with Congress, he will declare that national emergency. And he said, I almost definitely will, is what it
But he just said this.
Yep, he just said this. So we'll actually be showing that on the show in just a bit. But that did just happen right before we came in for here. So if the government shutdown continues into tomorrow, those 800,000 federal workers we've been talking about, they won't get their paychecks tomorrow and they'll be listed as unemployed. That's a huge deal.
Huge. So if you guys don't know what is tomorrow, it's payday. And so this is a day in which you're going to get a lot of news on individual, personal people who are struggling because this is the day people won't get paid and they will also be termed unemployed, which is crazy.
800,000.
800, almost a million people.
Yep. And it will. That Jason just said it'll throw off his job rate,
which he would hate.
That's absolutely correct. Which he doesn't want that to happen. So.
And other news too, and in another shutdown. Remember what I taught you guys about non-essentials? So we talked about TSA agents. We talked about the Coast Guard.
Yep.
We're getting to the FDA now, and now we're getting to a point where we're not being able to test our own food because they literally don't have the money to keep it in the budget. So when we talk about border control, we're literally losing and making our other borders more porous. In the meantime, if you don't know what porous means, it's like holy. It's holy.
Yeah. I don't know why we laughed at that.
Like a sponge,
yes.
Which I refuse to buy for my new house because they smell and I don't believe they don't have bacteria.
Okay, you know what you should use?
Ugh, ShamWow. I kind of want to try it.
On your dishes?
Oh. Yeah, I like scrubbed. I like the one with the stick, and I'm far away from the water.
Like the on TV one. Yeah, like the one with the stick. Yeah,
I like the stick
that's the one we use. Okay. And you have to change it pretty often.
I know. People don't realize that.
But you can get them on Amazon, the little replaces, for so cheap. Chris has like 100 in our house right now underneath our sink. But
that's great.
We'll never run out. But anyway, you do have to replace those because they get gross.
So, hi guys. Tori, you went half braided today and half straight. Of course, I think without even looking, this is Stephen Hill. Am I right? It is Stephen! Stephen likes to point out exactly right. You are right. Now, can you guys see it?
She's got a braid here. Wait, turn.
You're not done?
No, this is it.
Jason just asked if it was because her hair wasn't done yet.
Ouch! Yeah, my heart hurts.
I think he was serious.
Wow, I think he was definitely serious for sure. As for the lip color, I just want to point out I had some wine at date night with my husband, and I went home, and I don't remember this, but I ordered a lot of ColourPop, which I love the makeup. And Kelly put some on here. I'm wearing too. Don't you guys love that lip? And it stays on all day. So take a look.
She says. So I can't wait to see.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it in the breaks. But ColourPop is a great little hack. Super cheap. Great pigmentation. We'll talk about it in the break.
You spent way too much money.
I didn't.
She did, but it's okay. That's
look how good we look.
Yeah, look how good we look because of it. So yeah. We did talk about yesterday, the president met with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and that did not go well. He stormed out. They say he threw a temper tantrum. So we're still going head to head here. We're hoping that there will be a deal, but if not, President says he will be declaring that national emergency. One thing to note real quick is that he's taking along his White House counsel on this trip.
I was just going to say, who's going with Trump?
Yeah, I'm not exactly even sure of the person's name.
Is it Emmett Flood?
No.
Okay.
It's another one.
Okay.
I'd know it if you said it. But,
okay.
So this isn't normal for the president to take his White House counsel along on presidential trips. So experts are saying this could mean that he will be declaring that national emergency, and
That's
he'll be
why
doing
I
it
asked.
during the trip.
Right. The reason I asked is, remember at Mar-a-Lago, Trump had a lot of conversations about major foreign policy. He likes to be on the go when he makes these kind of choices, and I wonder if he's going to have that counsel there for this. I also want to talk to you guys about this, and if you're not following Lawrence Tribe, Tribe, this is a Harvard Law constitutional professor, great Twitter feed, very famous on all the news programs. My dad's actual professor, which is crazy.
What?
Lawrence Tribe has a very strong feeling about national emergencies being called for non-essential things.
Yes.
So there is going to be flack from the House Appropriations Committee, which just means the Money Committee. Remember, the Democrats own the House right now, to say, I don't think you legally might not be able to declare a national emergency if there isn't literally a national emergency.
Yeah.
So there is some legal constitutional basis here that he could try, and that's why the council is there, because there might be some flapback.
Yep.
That's not the right word. What's flapback?
Pushback.
I want flapjacks. I'm hungry.
Yeah, somebody was talking about pancakes earlier, and I think that's where
They were? Now I'm definitely hungry.
Terrell Swain on Facebook says, Trump is rich. Why doesn't he pay the people out of his pocket? And then we have Hodges on Facebook. That was Terrell Swain.
Terrell's joining us, I think,
or
from...
Teriel.
I think from... Oh, let us know.
Yeah,
is it like the mermaid or...
Yeah,
tell us how to do it, like Ariel. But I do want to say this. Elizabeth Warren and other Democrats are donating their paycheck for the entire shutdown.
Which
so
is
some
huge.
politicians are. So kudos to them, whether or not you like them or not, their policies. Kudos to them for understanding to not be tone deaf.
And then Hodges False on Facebook says, no pay because Pelosi and Schumer are against the American people and don't want anything but to make Trump look bad.
And if that's true, if that's how you really feel, obviously Kelly and I feel differently, but we'd love to have a conversation with you, Hodges.
Yep.
Do you feel at all frustrated? And I don't mean angry, and I don't mean you're upset and don't want to vote for Trump, because I understand you support him. Frustrated that you were told so many times that you wouldn't have to pay for the wall. Do you feel suckered? Do you feel like you were played for a dupe? Do you feel like you got tricked? Because a lot of people feel like this was a big con. And what I know about Trump supporters is they don't like to be conned. And I want to know from you, Hodges, if you feel conned, because it wasn't just once, it wasn't just twice. It was U.S. government,
Multiple
taxpayers
times.
will not pay for the wall, from his mouth. So does that frustrate you? And if so, let me know. I would love to just hear that. I know you support him. I'm not going to change your mind about the wall. But does it frustrate you as a Trump supporter?
Anyway, please keep sending us in your comments. We will continue to be tracking this story, obviously, throughout the whole day. And we'll bring you any updates as soon as I get them.
Yeah, and
we'll
just
be tracking his trip.
To give more to Hodges, because we want to give fair points of view.
Yes,
Hugh says, I feel suckered by the DNC. And I think a lot of people feel the Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the whole situation. There was a lot of situations with Bernie and Hillary. So I feel you, Hugh. I just want to know, what I'm talking about specifically is the Mexican wall, Mexico paying for the wall. Does that... It seems that everyone's just skipping over it. Does that bother you? Does it not? And why not?
Yep, that's a great question. We'd love to hear your opinions on that.
And Rowan and his dog rescue were on Ellen.
Yes, we do know that. Way to go, Rowan.
Way to go. Rowan?
Wait, Rowan. It's Roman.
It's Roman.
Wait, I was like,
have I been saying the wrong name this whole time?
No, Roman. But yes, I'm sure that's what Doris meant. And thank you, Doris, for letting us know that. We're excited to see that episode.
That is very excited. So we're going to head over. The fifth host is so good
today. Good one today.
And you guys really had a good one all this whole past week. You guys have been chiming in like mad. But get in here. Jason Newtiel, our digital EP, is going to absolutely crush it with this fifth host.
Guys.
And don't you like him in Sunflower Yellow? I think you look really charming.
Did you buy this shirt on your last drunk wine night?
No.
She bought this shirt as well for me. Collar pop for Kelly. We call her our drunk wine Santa. No.
And I'm Jewish.
Well, thank you very much. I apologize.
You look great.
I think the half braid isn't in. I didn't know.
He asked me if it was half finished.
I thought sometimes you have to pull Tori out of makeup and hair.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop.
Ouch.
I'm going to stop.
When you start digging, stop.
Yeah. I will.
Okay.
Note taken.
Note taken.
Great fifth host today.
I love this
comes from, where does it come from? Let me find out here.
Frontier Airlines.
No, it came from a couple of our Tegna stations, actually. So the Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa have a new policy where their employees can bring their infants up to 6 months old to work. They're allowed to bring them to work full-time for up to 6 months or when the child begins to crawl. It's in addition to some already pretty good benefits. Now, this is the Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa, so I'm going to take a leap of assumption here that it's probably a heavily female office. which I think does play a role in this decision.
Especially at 6 months when you're still breastfeeding, probably.
But so it's in addition to, they already have some amazing benefits, like 8-week prenatal leave and a 5-day bereavement benefits for miscarriages, which is very rare and very, very thoughtful. I think.
hadn't even
right. I mean, we're so
guys. Honestly,
we're
have
so
you thought
behind.
about that? Did you hear what he said? It's a 5-day bereavement or a grief
Super
period
progressive.
for miscarriages. Wow.
Yeah. So, but some expecting moms say they're worried about how it will affect the operation side of the workplace. But the Girl Scouts organization says that's fine. If there is a slowdown of productivity with those moms, they will take that hit. For the betterment of the mother-child relationship, which I think is really interesting. So the question here is, this is really interesting. Do you think it would be distracting, obviously, at your place of work if they allowed this baby rule and your coworkers or yourself were allowed to bring in a baby from 0 to 6 months? Now, I spend a lot of time in Los Angeles, 18 years working in television, and there were a lot of offices that welcome dogs. And if you love dogs, then that must sound like a dream job.
It is. It's like heaven.
No.
The golden retrievers are galloping towards you. Is that a Jack Russell? Look, a Yorkie.
If you don't like dogs as much as Tori, it's kind of an annoyance and a disturbance. I get a little allergic to dogs. Not ideal for me in the workplace. So you kick this up a level, babies everywhere. Now, 0 to 6 months, Sam Shocker earlier today was saying they don't cry normally 0 to 6 months.
No. She was saying they don't, they're not up and really moving a lot.
They do cry.
They do cry. Yeah, she said that. And that they're not mobile, so they're in their little, and they sleep and cry and sleep and cry.
So here, I'm torn. I'm not really torn. Like, my gut is like, I would not want to be in that office. That's my own personal opinion. Not interested in that. But we also have a story today later on that there's an 18% reproductive decrease this year. So women are not having as many children this year over, is it year to year?
Yeah. And
year to year, 18% is a huge drop.
And interestingly enough, it is Hispanic women and African American women are hitting
the mark.
It's
white women, 18%.
Are not hitting the mark to sustain us.
So I see two problems here. It's like we don't give pregnant women enough time off. And as a result, our reproductive rate is dropping. So if you want the reproductive rate to stay up and you want the population to maintain, then you kind of have to make, I guess, concessions with it. So as a species, or it's a white woman thing. I'm
a white woman. I'm turning 37 in how many days?
2 days. 2 days.
And
because it's marked on all of our office calendars.
It's tattooed everywhere. And I don't have kids, and I'm definitely part of that group that's like, my career is so much more important right now to me, and I think a lot of women feel that way, and I'm part of that group, and my parents very much don't really understand it.
So let me ask you this. Is that a choice? You made that choice. Do you think other women should have to make that choice and say, if I can't if I can't watch my child and have my career, maybe I shouldn't have a child? Or maybe I should get out of that job. How about that?
I don't think women should have to make the choice, but I do feel like maternity leave would be a better option than having the baby at work. If there was an extended maternity leave, and when I talk about that, I mean like Finland, which Kelly will look up for me right now because she's sitting there. I think Finland, Sweden, Norway, those types of countries that I know John Venturini knew.
No, these are great.
They have, I think, 3-month maternity leave, and when you have that transition, wouldn't that be better for everybody? It's not at work, the baby's not at work, it's not at work, the baby's not at work, and the mom gets to bond with the baby at home.
But you do lose that.
4 months.
4 months. So they are also known as the consistently most happiest country in the world. This is the Nordic, sort of Scandinavian country. So is that not something we should think about, is extending maternity leave instead of bringing the baby there?
So you're suggesting a work from home situation?
Yes. I think productivity might, and the bond and the mental health of the mother might be better. And the workers around you, no?
Yeah, I think the workers around you, definitely.
That's sort of
it's
where
just,
I am.
listen, I've made the choice not to have children, so I don't want to show up every day at 9 o'clock in the morning and have a child for 8 hours because it's sitting right beside me. That's my feeling. But if I was a mother, in some jobs you just can't work from home, so that is the other problem.
Right, and now here's John Venturini says, depend on where work is. Air traffic control tower? Maybe not. But most other places, absolutely. But Madonna
Matthews says, I think it would be great if they provided a workplace nursery, but maybe not free range.
And actually, do you guys remember working 9 to 5 when the 3 women took over? They induced
That was so good.
Thank you so... Really?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
No, yes. No, I think that was good.
They introduced a nursery within the workplace. You remember this in 1970?
They also poisoned
something.
their boss with
Whatever.
rat poison.
Don't worry about that part. He was a jerk.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Anyway, Barbara Evans Simpson, in Canada, we get 1 year maternity leave. That seems, plus there is no top up program to extend to 18 months maternity leave in Canada. Yeah, I mean, that's great.
Yeah,
Once
because
again,
I think that would solve things. Now, listen to this.
a lot of other countries have a lot of really great things that we don't have as far as maternity
Yes,
leave.
and if you could look this up,
leave.
Kelly, I was going to say paternity leave. Please look up Finland. I believe it's the same for fathers, which is great. Look what Hugh just wrote. This sort of blew my mind right now. My wife says if she is grieving lost child, then no, keep babies at home. What if you've just had a miscarriage?
Oh, see, that's a really
I hadn't
interesting.
thought about that.
Well, they give a bereavement
But
period.
that's 5 days. What if you came back and there's babies everywhere?
That's interesting.
Hugh, this was a really
That's a
smart
really
move on
interesting
your
thing, and
wife's
I'd love to
part.
pose that to the greater Girl Scouts of America because they are very conscious of the emotions, I think, and well-being of new mothers.
That's
so
a
that is
fascinating feeling. I didn't think about that at all.
beyond 5 days. That's really interesting.
Men, what is it?
54 days.
I don't know how many months. I don't do math. How many months is that?
A little less than 2 months.
Janice
Okay,
Grader Witt
thanks.
Hightower. Janice, that is a lot of names. I'm impressed.
Say it again.
Janice Grader Witt Hightower.
Ooh,
that sounds.
Janice
You
Grader
sound
Witt.
like.
Janice Grader.
That makes you sound like someone very,
Your
very important.
Majesty.
As a mother myself, workplace is just that, workplace. However, if the company wants to provide, I can't see them more, I'm sorry. It's probably about maternity leave, I'm going to guess. Janice, I can't read the second half, so if you can resend it. But, this is great. Janice, that's a great point. And I'm sure you're not the only mother that doesn't, I'm a mom at home. I don't need to come and spend my 8 hours at work, 9 hours at work.
Marina even said
other
that.
Kids.
Marina is our one of our producers, and she's pregnant and
tough.
has a baby, and she said, I couldn't wait to get back to work because I couldn't be around that environment. I wanted to
Exactly.
talk to adults. So I wanted to bring this up. Barbara Evans Simpson. In Canada, we get 1 year maternity leave. I feel like that solution might solve a lot of issues. Now, I also want to ask you guys, what about adopted parents? If you adopt a child, some in Finland and all that, they also give you maternity leave. Do you feel that should be included in maternity and paternity leave?
Well, yeah, I think that bond is equally. I don't know why you.
Some companies don't.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right.
Listen, it's complicated. The businesses have to make money, and they have to,
That's right.
do the best to keep. If any business that has a heart, you do want to be concerned about the well-being of your employees.
Yeah, because you have better work production.
It's a tough balance. I get why it's a hassle.
Rainey says, if you can bring your pet to work, why not your baby? Corps want to keep workers happy with work/life balance perks, and they definitely do work. My only problem is, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, isn't it distracting? And just straight up.
Yep, dogs and babies.
Well, dogs are fine.
Dogs and babies.
Yeah, I hear
I mean,
you.
and if you're going to have dogs at work, then give them a little pound somewhere. Like a little somewhere.
What's this, Jess?
It's just away from my desk.
You don't want like a break to see a furry face just being like, I love you, I love you, I love
I've
you.
got Kelly Schubert sitting right behind me in the office.
She's a golden retriever for sure. No, she's a Labrador.
She's not a dog at all. She's a person. But
Where's he going with this?
she talks a lot. I talk a lot. We talk a lot together. I don't need any more distractions.
Okay,
is my
that's
point.
fair. That's fair.
That's my point.
That's fair. Is that why they stuck me over by the
Yes.
end? Huh. They said it was for an outlet.
Tori's like behind the set by the
Wait
dumpster.
Wait a minute. Why am I outside? No, I'm kidding. Oh boy, love this. A lot of people also writing in about the president, and a lot of you saying about Trump, saying that you're not feeling upset.
So
about
everyone
it.
answered your question exactly the way I expected them to answer, because I don't think a lot of people care about that part of the conversation as much as you do.
But it's the money.
It's not the money. Here's what I'm going to say.
Their money.
Here's what I'm going to say about this case. And I want to know from the people who support Trump and are siding with Trump throughout this discussion. Trump started switching the conversation a little during the conversation. He started saying border security instead of border wall. He started referencing the fences that were already there versus a whole new fence. A lot of that language changed, which for me, I appreciated because it seemed like an evolving thing. My problem is a wall stretching 5,000 miles over desert and sand is not a good use of money. Now, we've heard a lot of conversations from both sides, from Republicans and Democrats, that say we need technology. We need more border patrol.
Drones,
we need
invisible
drones.
fencing.
We need heat sensing cameras.
Yeah.
Those are the things we need. So my question to you guys is, and Democrats and Republicans, If the $5.5 billion was simply rewritten slightly to say we will resecure the existing walls, we will give the tech, all that money will go to Border Patrol technology, alternative things than a straight up 5,000-mile wall.
Could we compromise?
Could we compromise, and would you feel protected? I would feel protected. Most people are saying that kind of technology would help us. So if we were all going to agree on one thing, I would gladly give him the $5.5 billion if it was going to go to something more productive than just a giant concrete wall through the desert. I don't think that's a good use of money.
They also showed that the steel slats this morning could be cut with swords, very easily.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean,
right.
the Republican governor who's on the border the other night said they measure Border Patrol's reactions in hours and days, which means that's how often they only go out every couple of days to see if somebody's out there. So to have a wall sitting there all the time in 2019 when there's heat censoring cameras and there's drones that could patrol miles and miles for us and we have enough manpower to process all of that information, that to me seems like a much better use of money. I would gladly give $17 per person in America to support that. So if that is the only thing, would you be okay with that? If we just take Trump and take Congress out of it, if you and I sat down and made this deal, would you be okay with that? I would sign that deal. Would you sign that deal? Would we be happy?
Could the wall become a barrier? In meaning, can we change the idea of the
exactly.
Yeah.
What I think what he was saying more during the conversation is there are parts in the country where a wall exists already.
Which is true.
And it is effective in that area. So, the Obama administration had already given some money to update those walls. It sounded like Trump was in kind of aligning with that. So I just want to know what you guys think. Is that reasonable?
So they're writing in, and Naomi says it's not going to be a concrete wall anymore. Trump now says steel, and it's not the whole border. But just today, we have people finding ways to cut steel. So I wonder if that's going to shift to something more technologically advanced. And then Bin 31 says no, $1.6 billion has already been given, hasn't been fully utilized. The wall costs $70 billion over a 10-year project. Federal workers should not be punished no matter where you stand on this issue.
Interesting.
I agree with you.
Well, it's a good conversation. I'm glad you guys, thank you for writing back, because that's what I want. This is how we have a conversation.
I like what you said,
interwebs.
Jason.
All right, well, interesting. So listen, keep the comments coming. We're going to send you a heart threads. We'll see you during the shows in an hour and a half or so.
We sure will.
Stay there.
Hey, you.
Bye.
Bye.
To you inside in your heart and soul when you love another person like this. And it's like, if something happens to him, it happens to me.
Yeah.
If he's hurt, I pain more. It's just, you can't, it's oneness. Total oneness. I had gone back to Maryland University because my husband had passed away about a year before that. We'd been married 43 years. He was the one that encouraged me to go back into music. I think he sensed, he had a lung disease, so I think he sensed he'd be going. So he said, do me one favor. Don't bury yourself along with me. I was his caretaker as well as his wife. So when he died, I lost both jobs. I just was at wit's end, and I think that's why my daughter said go back to school. I'm glad I did, because I'd have never met this character if it hadn't been for that.
I was working at Maryland University at the Roy Rogers, but I was also tutoring the musicians. She was the only older white person that was in the cafeteria, and I wanted to know why she was in there. But I was looking at her and I said, God, she's so pretty, I would like to meet her. And I got up my nerve when I saw her holding a music book, and I said, that is my cue, so I snatched the book out of her hand. And said, I see you reading a music book. And then I told her I was in music, and that's how we met.
And the funniest part is, it wasn't too long after I met Richard that he asked me to manage his band, and I thought, that's strange, because I'm there for classical music, and this is not classical band. This is, popular band. And my professor, I can't remember her name right now, she said, what are you going to school for? You're going to learn more with the band than you're ever going to learn here. So I did. I managed for about a year and a half.
Our keyboard player had gotten in some legal trouble and had to lead the band, and we had a show in 2.5 weeks. So I just asked her, did she play as well as she say she did? She said yes, and I just said, okay, here's the tape. I asked her to date me. She had told me at that time that her husband had just died, and I actually said to her, I'll wait till you finish grieving and I'll be here.
I don't know when it first entered, but I began thinking, this is a different person. I stopped looking at the outer image of Richard and more the inner Richard. And that's what attracted me.
Well, when we first met, she told me I'm 64, and I told her I was 44 at the time, which was true. So it's a 20-year difference, but I told her that didn't matter to me.
If you judge our different circumstances, no one under God's green earth would think Richard would be attracted to Alice, or Alice would be attracted to Richard, or we'd be playing together or doing any of that.
Especially her being older and me being black. That surprises them, but at the same time, I'm kind of surprised because most of the white people and the black, they are so happy that we've been together 21 years. Like I wouldn't be playing if I wasn't playing with her.
And conversely, I don't think I'd be playing with anybody but Richard, because I don't think anybody understands me the way Richard does. I mean, we've worked things out where we don't need to explain, you know, we don't need to talk, we just do. And that takes spiritual work as well as mental work. And I don't think that comes along too many times in life.
I'm going to play with her as long as I can play, as long as she can play. I'm just going to spend the rest of my life with her doing what I'm doing, as long as I can do it with her. As long as God allows her to be here. Because let's say he take her away. I can't get angry with the man because he has allowed me to be with her 21 years. There's no way I could be angry with the man. And those 21 years, musically has been up and down. Relationship-wise, hasn't been up and down. It's been up, constant.